There are many ways to create text for a devised piece. Creative writing is a strong choice and often brings about some real goodies. However, perhaps writing really isn't your thing, and everyone in your group is also fearful of it. In which case, a fantastic way of generating material is to use found texts. In other words, text that already exists that you can rework, reimagine, and adapt for your piece. So here are a few ideas of where to find and get started with texts that already exist. These are found texts. Poetry. Poems are excellent for devising. You can branch out all kinds of ideas from them, or you can keep it dead simple and perform the poem as a monologue. A poem could be as little as 16 lines. Or it could be a longer poem that you share out amongst the group and speak it as an ensemble. Here are my go-to poetry books, all filled with powerful, thoughtful, and exciting poetry. Staying Alive, Being Alive, and Being Human are 3 anthologies full of contemporary poetry. Also check out Poem for the Day 1 and 2, a poem for each day of the year. Some old, some new, all really interesting. Finally, check out K. Tempest's work, especially Hold Your Own, and Rupi Kaur's books, Milk and Honey, and The Sun and Her Flowers. Pick out the interesting poems that you like, and you could perform one of them as a monologue. Twitter thread. Social media is an endless source of text that you could reimagine for your piece. Screen grab or write out a thread of tweets from one person and use that as a monologue. This can be anyone from Donald Trump to a celebrity to a politician or journalist. If hashtags, emojis, GIFs, photos or video are used in the tweets, recreate those as well. Notice any abbreviations, spelling mistakes, punctuation, capital letters, or unusual use of grammar. These are all things that you have to try and accurately recreate using voice and movement. Song lyrics. Write out or print off the lyrics to a song that resonate with your story or a character. You can treat these lyrics like text for a monologue. One of the challenges of speaking lyrics is not to recreate the speed and rhythm of the lyrics as they were sung in the song. Try and speak the text completely differently, using a different speed and a different speech pattern. Perhaps it's whispered, mumbled, or shouted. It's also worth noting that lyrics have a lot of repetition in them. You could remove the repeated lines if you want, or keep them in, and try and make each repetition different by having a different intention or feel to it. Online comments, newspaper letter. Have a look online for a news article, and then have a read of the comments underneath it. You'll find a whole range of differing bits of text here. Some are short and snappy, some are long form and have a word count of hundreds. Alternatively, buy a newspaper and have a look at the Letters to the Editor section. These are letters or emails that have been sent to the newspaper for publication, and every day a choice few are published by the newspaper. Use one of these letters as a monologue. Imagine who the speaker is, what do they sound like, and what's their tone of delivery. You could create a new character for your piece from a comment or letter, or you could adapt a letter or comment for an existing character in your story. Instructions. Instructions exist for all sorts of human activities or technological devices. Most products come with instruction manuals, or most product makers have them in digital formats on their websites that you can download or view online. With instructions, you can recontextualize them and give them a different spin. For example, taking some dull instructions on how to set up a dishwasher reimagined as chat-up lines to someone. Or a list of directions from Google Maps reimagined as if spoken by a motivational speaker to a crowd of thousands. You could also take the framework of a set of instructions, replace the specifics, and rework it for a human problem. This problem that needs instructions could be: how do you get rich? How do you find love? How do you successfully keep a secret? Use the specific style and format of some existing instructions and rewrite them to be instructions on how to solve a uniquely human problem. TED Talk. TED Talks are online talks by experts that are shared for free. They're hosted by people from all sorts of backgrounds with ideas worth sharing. Take a TED Talk and transcribe it. In other words, rewrite it or retype the words from it and use it as a monologue. Some TED Talks are only 5 minutes long, but if it's a longer one, you could extract a section from it. Is there a character in your story who might be giving a TED Talk? Is there a character that might be watching one? If so, you could recreate it live in the space and have them watching it. Film Re-Enactment. When devising, you will have undoubtedly said the words, "Oh, it's like that bit in so-and-so film." So, rather than beating about the bush, why not use the script from the film and reenact that moment in your piece? If you are doing this, make sure that you credit the writer in your program. You could recreate the scene and script as it is originally, or you could alter it slightly to better suit your story if you want. All stories that we tell are similar to other stories. So find a similar story to yours in a film or TV series and go about reenacting it with your group. An interview. Look on YouTube, online news articles, magazines or newspapers for interviews with people. These are often called profile pieces. Take the questions and answers from the interview and put them in the mouths of 2 of your characters. This could be staged as an actual interview with a journalist interviewing one of your characters. Or perhaps it's a fantasy sequence where they're imagining that they're famous and on a TV talk show. A school report. This could be recent or from when you were younger. Treat this report as a monologue with a character speaking about you. This idea could work really well for a memory or a flashback for a character. Book extract. When devising material, you may have thought of a similar moment in a story or a novel. Find that extract and use that text. Perhaps the author of that book has perfectly captured what it feels like to be scared of something or to fall in love with someone. You don't need to beat it, you need to find it and use it. Again, make sure that you credit other artists' work where necessary. This text could be spoken by a narrator in your piece. Or if the book is in the first person, it could be spoken from the character's point of view. This chunk of text could be a phrase or a sentence. It could be a paragraph, or it could be a whole page. It might be a long string of sentences that one character is speaking to another character. If so, amazing. There is your monologue. And there we go, 10 ideas for using found texts as a devising device. Remember, you can use the text exactly how it is and recreate it word for word, or you can modify, cut, and extend the text however you want. Finally, to practice what I preach about crediting other artists' work, I discovered many of these ideas in this book, A Beginner's Guide to Devising Theatre by Jess Thorpe and Tashi Gore. It's an incredibly useful book full of ideas, exercises, and tools to help you devise. It will help your process no end. So go and buy it. Have fun finding your found texts. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, please give it a like. Do check out these other videos and subscribe. And if you want to support what I do on the channel, you can click on the link in the video description. All the best.